See when the hot seaweed wasn't there yet.
Hello and welcome to Your Dad Learns StarCraft 2 Ladder. And this is a game on 16-bit LE where I'm playing as a Platinum Zerg versus an unranked Terran. So in the upper right hand corner, wearing, is that pink? Pinkish? Magenta? Wearing the magenta pants, not shorts pants, is my opponent, playing Terran, Schwing. And in the lower left hand corner is your hero, your champion, your dad, playing Zerg the way that he does, with this drone doing nothing. What is this guy doing? It's my view. He's hanging out. He's just chilling, holding on to that rock. Alright. You do you, little guy. So, maybe that'll get fixed sometime. But, I'm starting out like... Actually, I'm not starting out like usual. I've done a extractor and a pool, because apparently I'm trying to get Zerglings a little tiny bit faster. It would help if this guy was mining, but hey. And my opponent, being a Terran, is of course walling off. Now I'm making my second base. So they're walling off. They're making a Reaper. Making their I don't know why they're making it here when they could just make it here. This is a safe spot. I can't just run in on it. They don't have to float that over. But hey, that's what they're doing. And it looks like the Reaper is out. And the Reaper is mostly to try to jump over ledges and attack unsuspecting spots and scout. So he scouts my expansion, nothing surprising. Jumps over the ledge. And there's my queen. Sees him fighting. There's my one guy just hanging out. And their Reaper focus fires my queen, so he gets nothing done. Queens are pretty good, especially against Reapers, because the queens have a lot of health. 175, they're not going to die easy. They're also apparently not going to inject easy. So that's a thing too. And they're floating their base over now. At this point, I've got two bases up. I'm making some Zerglings to defend out here. I'm looking for their third base. And I'm going to take a little gander at their second base, see if they've expanded, and they just did. So it looks like I remembered to inject finally. I'm making a spine crawler in case they come back with another Reaper. Probably unnecessary. It could probably be up here protecting or something, but you know, that's alright. Here is my usual Zergling, low Zergling Deathball doing nothing. I'm actually kind of waiting for them to come out and build, and then I'm going to go attack, because being me, I'm pretty sure I forgot that they're making a third, that they have a pocket base right there until I saw it with that guy. So now they're just kind of hanging out, unable to get through the wall up here. And I'm taking a third. And my opponent's make some units, make a command center, making an armory, get some upgrades for the vehicles. I'm making 2 Evo chambers, triple gas, because I want to go heavy roaches or hydralisks. And now I'm hopefully making... Oh, I'm making 8 roaches, which isn't bad. But I need to get units on this gas. I need to get units on there. And I need to try and make upgrades. I don't have the gas for upgrades yet, but if I put any miners in those 3, there's 1. Am I going to do it over here too? Yep, I'm going to have drones wake up and go there. Now I'm mining full-fledged. And I even have a creep tumor. Look at me go. So here's some units. I'm actually behind the Terran in supply, workers and army. So just overall I'm behind the Terran, which isn't good. they've got their third expansion also. I just scouted into that. So I know they have their third expansion. And they actually have their third expansion more mined up than I have mine. So I'm actually behind them quite a bit. Because if they have 3 expansions, I should be probably on a 4th. Or I should have at least had my 3rd working on for a while. So I know they have a little bit of an army because I saw those guys. So I'm making some defense here. And I'm making some Ravagers. Because at this point I decided Ravagers were cool. And I tried to use them. Although I still have not added Rapid Fire to my Ravager repertoire. So 3 Spines. A Spore. In case they come in with air. And they're making some upgrades. They moved out a little. They're making a 4th base. I still haven't. And they've got some Thors. Really nasty high health units. They're very good versus light units like Zerglings. And I actually did a drop into their base. Let's go back and see how I made that happen. Yep, here we go. So I have a bunch of Zerglings. Some of these Overlords. Send them over. That guy's probably gonna die. But that's okay. I lose 2 Overlords, but I kill a bunch of stuff in this bottom base, and they pull their army back and have to fight. They've lost a bunch of mining time. And saturated, oversaturated, saturated. Doing good. A lot of minerals. I should have macro hatch. This was actually the first game of a new kind of couple game session. Before I play, I just only do an AI game just to get the early part of my build down. Try to refresh myself on that. At least the first 5-6 minutes of an AI game. Or try to do like a max out. And I've just finished my tier 1 upgrades. 10 minutes in, I had these down a lot sooner than that. But starting my tier 2 upgrades. And making some more Ravagers. But I'm still way behind this Terran in terms of supply. Not good. They've got a 4th base. It's not saturated or mining or anything. But they've got it. They've got a bunch of Thors. I think they have 6 of them. And I am not really ready for that. They've scanned me. They know where my army is, what it looks like. They know I have some defense. And I've still got 21 larvae. I need to start spending on making units. Still making tech, not making units. 23 larvae now. Need to make some units. Made another base. Gonna try to put some saturation on it. And I make 10 mutilisks. Not the scariest thing in the world. Mutilisks, I've kind of come to realize, are very fast, but not very strong. So against an army like this, mutilisks do nothing. So they take some biles, which is good. Helps me get rid of the Terrans a little bit. Now I'm moving my army in. But it turns out Thors decimate mutilisks. And now my army is pretty well wiped down. Yep, I've got nothing really happening. No army going. Got 27 army supply, but lots has probably queens, and these guys just spawned. And I end up taking out 1 Thor. And I have 5,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. They have 3,500 and 1,900. But I've been behind them in supply the whole game, behind them in expansions the whole game. Don't make a macro hatch. Don't just start pumping money into making queens and units so that I'm using larva and non-larva to get an army built. And I started my upgrades way late. and they actually have their level 3 upgrades on everything. I have my level 2. So this is kind of the reverse of some other games I've had, where in this case my opponent has out-expanded, out-macroed, out-armied, out-upgraded. They have just straight outplayed me in a pretty clear sense of the word. Now, especially because this was a 14-minute game before they really attacked at about 13 minutes. So, if you're playing Zerg, one of the things to note is that if you are left alone that long into the game, not really messed with, you should max out. Like, as Zerg, you should really be looking to max out and attack. I mean, you can attack before you max out, but you should be looking to just use up all your larvae as fast as you can, or as efficiently as you can. Max out on army, attack the enemy, and as the fight's going on, rebuild your army with all of your hatcheries, your larvae, that massive unit production supply that you have. Because the Terran, for instance, my opponent has, let's see, 3 barracks, 5 factories. That means the most they can make at one time for, say, Marines is 3. 3 at a time, and they have to wait however long it takes for a Marine to, come to life. On a hive and 2 hatcheries was a 3rd hatchery. So on 4 bases, I can make 12 units at a time. If I'm injecting them, that means every 30 to 40 seconds, I believe it is. New larva drops down from the queens. So I believe larva gets made naturally every 15 seconds. So safely say every 45 seconds, each hatchery or hive or lair that I have can make 6 larvae. That means by the time they make, a round of, say, 6 Marines, I could make, on 4 bases, times 6, 24 of a unit. If those are Zerglings, it's doubled, but, 24 of something could be built. And that's where lots of strength of Zerg comes in, is just being able to swarm and repopulate faster than your opponent. Because generally their units will just 1-for-1 be stronger than Zerg's units, but man, can Zerg make a lot more of them, and then just throw that fodder until you destroy the enemy, as long as you're keeping up on your macro. So that's one of the things this, I guess they didn't really teach me, but you come across these games where they kind of remind you how important it is to keep up on your macro, your upgrades, your unit production. Right now I have, at this point in my journey, a lot of games that are kind of pounding me over the head with the message, build a macro hatch. You have so many resources, build a macro hatch. And these games were a little bit back, so I don't remember if I've taken it to heart yet, but at some point, and hopefully some point soon, I'll start taking to heart the fact that, hey, macro hatches are pretty good. Unit production is good. So, I hope you've enjoyed this Terran vs. Zerg video. And if you did, feel free to like the video, leave comments. If you didn't like the video, the dislike button's down there as well. And you can also leave comments about things that you would rather see. Well, things you would rather see me do, not that you'd rather just watch another video. If you want to do that, you can just go on and do it. So, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you at the next video. And until then, I've been your dad. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.